He said he'll make it worth our while. I don't know what that means.
But it's going to be good.
Yeah. Hello, welcome to Guide to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
And I'm her little brother, William.
We are here at the NJ HorrorCon in Atlantic City.
2021.
That's right. Can you believe it? And this is our 200th episode of Guide to the Unknown.
Which means almost 4 years of doing Guide to the Unknown.
Totally. It's wild.
I know. It's crazy. 200 of these.
Yeah.
And so this is also the first time that we've ever gone to a convention and bought a table for ourselves.
Yeah.
Especially as Guide to the Unknown.
Uh-huh.
And even Kristen, if you're watching the video version,
Yep.
Kristen and I, we each have got one of our merch shirts, a little Guide to the Unknown logo on the side,
like we're
almost like we're employees or something.
Yeah, right.
Which I guess technically we are.
True. That is true.
And we've been sitting here, honestly, I was going to try to show like some of the merch and stuff that we brought, but it's all gone.
Yeah, we just gave it away to people.
We gave it away for free. Kristen and I decided, hey, we're probably technically going to be in the red on this.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
We started Guide to the Unknown 4 years ago for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And for the love of horror and spooky stuff. And I think we're still even kind of here in that same spirit.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely just, obviously, we wanted to tell people about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just have fun.
Yeah, so there are a ton of tables around here of people selling stuff and photos and artwork. But honestly, whenever people come over here, we're just like, hey, we're Guide to the Unknown. I don't know. It might be your kind of thing. Go check it out.
Right.
And Kristen had a super fun idea that people seem to really like.
Yeah, it's going pretty well. So I made bingo cards, NJ HorrorCon bingo. And these are the items on it. So it's kind of like tic-tac-toe, honestly, but bingo sounds much better. So if you are able to get any 3 of these in a row, and I order them from a company called myfreebingocards.com, they're free if you do it like a certain way, but I had to pay. And,
you had to pay and they put their own URL on it?
Yes, I know.
They still put their own URL at the bottom of the card.
Isn't that some nards?
I assume that this was free.
No, it was not.
Yeah, that's some nards, all right.
Yeah. But here are the items on the bingo cards. Celeb guests talking to each other.
Now, did you see that?
No.
You didn't see that yourself?
No, I did not. Did you?
All right. I saw that very briefly. We'll get into it, but there is where Kristen and I are. We're on basically like the show floor where different vendors and press people each have their own table set up and they're selling their own T-shirts or they're doing their own like appearances and kind of stuff. But then there's a whole other room that I only recently found out about. We've been here for 7 hours right now. But I only just found out where all the actual celebrities are.
Yes,
and
they're tucked away.
There I saw Sean Patrick Flannery of Saw 3D turn and speak to Miko Hughes.
Okay, so you get that on the bingo card.
Technically, I've gotten that on the bingo card.
Yes. Okay, so next on this card, Scary Clown, non-Pennywise.
I have also seen that.
I've seen that too.
Yes. Clowns it's not hard to find a clown at a convention.
No, that's why I tried to make it slightly more challenging by saying non-Pennywise. But actually, I don't think I've seen Pennywise.
I haven't seen a Pennywise.
I've seen people dressed with like Pennywise things on their shirt or whatever, but I haven't seen like a Pennywise cosplay.
There is, of course, a clown here who's dressed like Deadpool as well.
Yeah, you're gonna see that at every con.
There's a Deadpool clown combo.
Right.
If you love both, you can have the full experience together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All in one person.
It's probably just an economical decision. Do I go as the clown or do I go as Deadpool?
Why not split the difference?
I figured it out.
Exactly. They cracked the code. Okay, next one is Scared Little Kid.
Now, I have not seen
I have not seen that either, and that's good.
I agree. I don't want kids to be scared.
No.
I should also tell you, I think a few people misinterpreted this. They looked at it and they went, I could scare a kid.
I know. But those people were just like, that was like their thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they meant that.
We've definitely got some edgy folks here.
We have gotten some, We
There's
sure
some
have.
edgy people.
Yes.
There was somebody that was like, I would love to fly around the country kicking little kids' asses.
Oh, yeah,
like,
I know.
All right. And then he asked me, he was like, would you please take a photo of me with this person? I went, you're very polite.
Yeah.
You said you wanted to fly around kicking people's asses. He was like, I do both, brother, or something like that. It's like, okay.
And he was talking about how he loves it when he hears that he made someone piss their pants.
Yeah.
Because I'm somebody who works in a haunt.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, he was really intense.
Yeah.
Next item is a dog.
A lot of dogs.
Now, I based this on from when we came to the NJ HorrorCon in 2019. Hey. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Somebody was just saying hi who we saw before.
Yeah, honestly, we've made a lot of interesting contact with people.
Yes.
A lot of people seem to be really excited that this con is here.
Yep.
And to be able to come out, and there are people in costume, of course, but also there are just people walking around because they enjoy this kind of thing.
Totally.
And so we've gotten a lot of people stopping by the table, which is great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And so also, lots of dogs. So when we came to the con, just as attendees in 2019, I remember one dog. And so that's why I put it on here. I was like, I bet somebody will have a dog again. And there have been a number of them today.
A lot of dogs.
There are a couple vendors who have their dog with them, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
Next item on here is 2 or more of same cosplayers together. So this was like if 2 separate dudes are dressed like Michael Myers and they're hanging out together.
Now, part of that is inspired by, we came to the NJ Horror Con a couple of years ago. I don't think we did a full episode about it. We didn't have a table. We just came to see it. And in the parking lot, before we even came in, we saw a guy getting into his Michael Myers costume. And then we kept seeing him around the show floor, and he had a whole routine. It's from the end of Halloween 2, where his eyes get shot.
Yeah, it was crazy.
In Halloween 2, he gets shot in both eyes. And then he has tears of blood down the mask. Very dramatic and romantic.
Yes.
But so he had his bit where he would cover his eyes and flail wildly with the knife. And then he ran into another Michael Myers, and the two of them basically had like a staring contest. Because the real problem is Michael Myers doesn't have a personality.
Right. So you don't have any, you don't have business.
There's nothing to play.
Act out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. So I have not seen that, but I've seen people circle that on their bingo cards.
A lot of people have circled that.
Yeah. So that's one. Then we have person in elaborate costume, but on their phone.
Yes. We love somebody who is not fully committed to the bit.
Yes. And we understand, look, if I was in costume, you would definitely catch me on my phone too.
Yes. This is not quite an example of this, but at one point, Kristen and I were sitting at our table and we looked down to the side and somebody's dressed like Raggedy Ann.
Yeah.
It's like a big hulking Raggedy Ann.
Right. Maybe the original or authentic Annabelle?
We're not sure. The original Annabelle doll isn't that doll from the movies. It's a Raggedy Ann. So, right, maybe it was Annabelle.
Yeah.
But they're walking down the aisle toward us, and he's wearing a big Apple Watch.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I feel uninhibited here.
Yeah, there's an anonymity.
You can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. So I've just been shouting out to people, and I went, hey, sick Apple Watch. Is that an Apple Watch?
Yeah.
And before he remembered he's supposed to be in character, he gave me a thumbs up and pointed like, yeah, I do have an Apple Watch.
Yeah, it's sweet.
And then he walked by and he goes, I guess I should probably take this off. I didn't think about that. It's not in the character. And as he walked away, Kristen goes, he's actually taking it off. He's making sure he doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
So he fixed his costume.
Yes. Okay. Then we have hotel guest who doesn't get it stopping to stare.
Yeah, we're at the Showboat Casino and Hotel in beautiful Atlantic City.
Yep.
But it's a functioning hotel.
Yeah.
And so there are guests coming to and fro. Our other sister, Lynn, is here staying in the hotel, partially to come to Atlantic City, partially to come see us, which is lovely. But you can see people walking around in here just kind of occasionally peering over and being like, oh, there are a lot of costumes.
Yeah, a lot of weird people here today.
A lot of color.
Well, actually, not a lot of color, mostly black.
Oh, that's true.
So color, I would say metaphorically.
That's what I really meant. Like colorful
color.
Personalities.
Yeah.
Somebody is in costume as something I don't understand.
Right.
They are wearing a dress, and they've got underwear.
Oh, I understand it.
What is it?
Like a mental patient.
Oh, that's all that is?
I think so, because their underwear says mental on it. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, so it's a person who is like made up with makeup to look like they're dirty head to toe, and then they're wearing a long, dirty dress, and they are shuffling around the floor, and then they have a pair of underwear that says mental on the butt hanging off of their ankle.
Hey, folks, you want to play NJ HorrorCon Bingo?
Nope.
No, they really don't.
They don't.
Okay, I give it a shot.
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
So
okay.
Anyway.
So, we covered hotel guests who doesn't get it stopping to stare. Then we had someone wearing a GTTU pin because we were giving away pins.
We brought a bunch of merch. We brought Guide to the Unknown stickers. We brought all of the artwork by Drew Hester, which is amazing.
Yep.
The old-time Willie, the old-time Chrissy, the old-time Spooky Twins.
People were noticing it. They're like, is that you?
I know. It was
fun.
super. They were like, I just realized this is you.
Yeah.
This is your face. So we were telling them the story of like the podcast and Drew making the artwork.
Yeah.
And so we were just giving them away.
Yeah, totally.
We gave away all of our stickers. We gave away all the magnets. All the pins are gone.
Yep.
They're just out in the ether. So we put it on the thing. If we're giving away the pins,
they're out there in the wild. So why not put that on there?
And we actually have a high profile get
This was huge.
This was tremendous for us. This was a big moment for Guide to the Unknown.
Yes.
We saw somebody who took our pin and put it onto their costume, front and center.
Oh, yeah.
You might even have seen this on @GTTUpod social media, because we've been posting some stories here and there. Mm-hmm. Joe Dirt.
That's right. The Joe Dirte carrying or pulling a little red wagon.
From the movie Joe Dirt, the meteorite, which turns out to be congealed frozen poop from an airplane.
Right. We got to meet him and take a picture. We got to.
Honestly, it was the first time that I felt we were at the con already for a few hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, we need a photo with you, Mr. Dirt.
I know. And he put the pin on his overalls, front and center.
Yeah, the flopping down part of the overalls. He only has one of the shoulders fastened.
Naturally.
Of course. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Joe Dirt is rocking our pin.
Huge.
And rocking it hardcore.
Oh, rocking it well.
Yeah.
So if somebody passes him, they got that.
They got it.
And then the last square was someone taking a picture with Father Evil.
Yeah, now, Father Evil is actually something of a character that we've talked about on the show before somewhere.
Yes, we have.
Because we were looking through Cameo.
Yeah, I think it was on Patreon.
Yeah, I guess it was on Patreon. But we were looking through Cameo to find celebrities to buy, messages from. And Father Evil is a mainstay on Cameo.
Yes.
He's a guy, he has his own character as an evil priest, and he's here right now. He's down there.
Yeah. So he's pretty much at every con. He's always available. And so I thought I'd put that on there. And so, it's been fun. People have been doing their bingo and coming back. And we have full-size candy bars, the ultimate Halloween get, in a little plastic Halloween tubby thing, whatever you call that.
Yeah. Like a trick-or-treat thing. Here, just bring it over. Yeah, just a little a jack-o'-lantern trick-or-treat bag.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
All right. Now, William, I've been waiting to hear about what happened when you went in that celebrity area. Will has not told me anything yet.
I want to make sure
Nor have I told him.
Yeah, I want to make sure not to oversell it. I just wanted to talk about it on the show rather than shoot the story in the foot.
Right.
So, like I said, we found out that all the celebrities are kept in an entirely different wing.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that Billy Zane, who, yes, is here.
I saw him.
You did see Billy Zane?
Yes.
He wasn't there when I went in.
Are you sure he wasn't there? Because he was actually sitting at Laura Zane's table.
Oh.
And two women were at his table, which is what you said before.
I feel like a damn fool.
He was wearing a cowboy hat, a mask, and sunglasses.
Oh. Well, it could be anybody.
But no, I'm positive it was him. I think he was sitting with his wife.
They could literally have sent in a Billy Zane body double.
Was he?
A mask, a cowboy hat, and sunglasses.
I know. It's like the joke I made when quarantine first started that we all look like the Invisible Man.
Yes.
But I think it was him.
It's like the Unabomber.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
So somebody told me around here that Billy Zane was nervous because it's COVID times.
Yeah, totally.
And so they were like, if you go in there, make sure that you're wearing your mask so that Billy Zane doesn't freak out and close down the entire thing.
We got to keep him
comfortable. I'm telling you, just be careful. So I went in being like, all right, he's going to see how decked out I am.
Right. He's going to respect how careful I'm being.
Yes. And I went in and I didn't see him at all. But you're right. Maybe he was...
I think that was him. I'm
maybe he was feeling quite anonymous.
99.9% sure.
So here's what I did. Hey, everybody, you want to try out the NJ HorrorCon bingo game we're doing?
Yeah. That's okay.
That's a no. So as we were... as I was walking into the room, I saw, Sean Patrick Flannery.
Yeah.
Who is in the movie Saw 3D.
Yes.
And he's the protagonist going through all the traps in the original final Saw movie. So, one thing that we never talked about on this show is that a few months ago, I had a run-in with Saw fans on Twitter.
Oh my God, yeah, we haven't talked about this.
We haven't talked about this on the show, because honestly, I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, I know, it's hard to explain.
So, on Twitter, I noticed, because I follow a bunch of different topics on Twitter, and horror movies is one of them, and obviously we've talked about Saw before. We did our guide to the Saw movies in the past. So I saw people on Twitter pretending to be characters from the Saw movies.
Yeah.
So I saw somebody was being Agent Strom from Saw 4, being like, I'm telling you, I gotta get this guy.
You're right.
And then Logan from Jigsaw, the movie Jigsaw, would be like, you'll never catch me, Agent Strom. So they're just...
kind of Twitter LARPing almost.
Yeah, it's almost like Twitter cosplay.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're just pretending
I say LARPing basically because they're role playing.
Yeah.
Like cosplay is just dressing up a lot of the time. They
Right.
were like having a story going on with each other.
Very true.
Yeah.
So all these accounts are talking to each other, and I went down the rabbit hole. Somebody's got an account that like it's at Jigsaw, stuff like that. But so they're all pretending to be different characters, and they get super in the weeds and have really obscure Saw characters, but I know the franchise well enough to get it.
Yep.
So I just started tweeting like, is anyone aware of this? Am I the only person seeing that people on Saw are pretending to be the Saw characters? And they took notice of me.
They saw.
They witnessed me. And so this is all true. A couple of months back, people started tweeting at me and telling me that like John Kramer said he was going to put me in a trap.
Yep.
And then people just started I don't even remember the order of events.
So apparently, like a couple people started tweeting at you, and then it seems like they might have had their own separate private chat going, the Saw role players.
Yeah.
And they said something in there about Will Rogers, and then somebody wrote back, who TF is Will Rogers?
Yeah.
And then for some reason, like they just, and I think because it was random, they just like latched onto it as like a weird random thing to be obsessed with.
The joke was I am no one, right? Like they weren't focused on me because of anything that I've ever done.
No. It was just like a goofy thing. So then they all started tweeting who TF is Will Rogers at each other all the time and at Will.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, this culminated in somebody creating a Twitter account that was at who TF is Will Rogers.
Yeah, and they started making memes about me. So here's one of an army guy.
Oh, yeah, and also, like, even though they're, like, kind of making fun of Will, I guess. Like, not even really. There's kind of, like, it's fun to attach to something random. They, I don't know, they held Will up as, like, a fake, jokey god. So, like, what Will is showing to the camera right now for people who are watching was, like, somebody made out of a bunch of puzzle pieces, and
it must be a stock standard meme. So it's a guy made out of puzzle pieces. One piece is missing, and it says, sometimes what a person needs is just one piece, and the one piece is labeled Will Rogers.
Right.
And they're referring to me.
Yeah, and then there was one where it's like, it says above it, like, all the bad things in the world. And there's a person shielding those bad things from another person, and that says Will Rogers.
I'm shielding them from every bad thing ever. And then I guess they started listening to Guide to the Unknown, so they made a couple Guide to the Unknown memes. So one person is pushing somebody else in a wheelchair. The person pushing the wheelchair says, I love Guide to the Unknown. And the person in the wheelchair says, they talk too much about Scream. So the person pushing the wheelchair dumps them off a cliff.
Right. And we had just released an episode where we mentioned that people sometimes have left us bad reviews because we talk about Scream too much. So they were like up to date.
I brought that up to somebody here who had a ghost face person and everything. She was like, so it sounds like we might be soulmates and I'm going to have to listen to your show.
Oh, fun.
Which was cool.
Yeah.
And then, this person wrote, if nobody got me, I know Will Rogers got me. Can I get an amen? There's just a lot. The point is...
It was so silly.
The point is, Saw Twitter...
And very fun.
Saw Twitter went wild.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of this. I believe in Will Rogers' supremacy. Set an account that is set up to be Patrick, Elijah, Drake... I don't know. Lucy, your average Saw and horror enjoyer.
Yeah.
NSFW at times. And by at times... They mean all the time.
All the time.
There's a lot of not safe for work material on Saw Twitter.
Yeah, there's a lot of piss play involved.
Yeah, so there's a whole thing in the Saw movies where Agent Strom in the fourth one is put in a cube. His head's just in a cube that's filling with water. And I think somebody said, what if that was piss?
Yeah, and then they, like with Will, they ran with this piss theme.
Yeah.
So that was all throughout the storyline.
They made like videos that included my tweets. And then it became a thing where they would just tweet, Will Rogers, thumbs up.
Yeah.
And then people from like my work started seeing it and being like, I don't even understand what this is.
It's very hard to explain.
It is very hard to explain, and I knew that it would be over in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So I never brought it up because it was so, it was on the ether.
It was a moment in time.
It was a moment in time.
It was very fun, though.
So yeah, and then like somebody started like sending like, a Will Rogers Stan account.
Oh, right.
Who TF is Will Rog 1?
Yeah.
I did not make this, I swear to God. But they have a Guide to the Unknown Secret Society banner that's ripping up as if it's aged and crumbling apart.
Yeah, they like went in and digitally did this.
So here's why I'm telling you this.
Did you tell Sean Patrick Flannery about
I told
this?
Sean Patrick Flannery about it.
What?
Yeah, I went.
What did he say?
I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you go on Twitter. And he was like, yeah, kind of. And I went, are you aware that like people who love the Saw movies sometimes pretend to be you? And they love you. And they act like you. And they act like all the characters. And he was like, I did not know this. And I went, something happened where I got their attention and they got really focused on me. And he goes, so who did you play? And I was like, no. I did not do this.
Yeah.
Other people did this, and they were focused on you a lot of the time, Sean Patrick Flannery. So I thought it might be fun if I try to get a selfie to really flip out Saw Twitter.
Oh, you're right. But this didn't happen.
It didn't happen. They don't take card.
Yeah.
They only take cash. And a selfie is $40.
Holy crap.
I was going to do it.
Yeah, I know.
I was going to do it.
It still would have been worth it.
For the lulls.
Yeah, I know. You got to do it for the lulls. You got to do it for the net.
Got to do it for the net.
Yeah.
Smush that like button.
For the content. Smush that like button.
Smush that like button.
We came up with that on the way here, and we were like, why don't we say smush that like button?
Smush it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was what I tried to do in there.
Was he nice?
He was very kind, yes.
Good.
I overheard I had to wait for his attention.
Yeah.
And the people that he was speaking to, he was talking about how in Saw they put hooks through his chest, and he was talking about the apparatus that they made him wear, and like it seemed like he was having a really good time.
Oh, that's nice.
Which was very, very nice.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I saw him speaking to Miko Hughes.
Right.
From Pet Sematary, the scary little boy.
Yep.
And I saw John O'Hurley from Seinfeld.
Yes.
Which was very
cool.
cool.
What was he doing when you saw him?
Head down signing.
Okay.
Hard worker, seemed very learned. He was all about the words on the page.
I think this guy is a pro like no other, because when I went in, he was talking to somebody and making eye contact and nodding so empathetically, very listening, and it seemed like it was a serious conversation.
Yeah.
And seemed like a very nice guy, like giving full attention, listening to somebody who's just talking. They were still talking when I walked out.
Yeah.
And just, he was locked in.
Honestly, here's two things. One, wonderful. Consummate professional.
Yeah.
He must know what he's here to do, and maybe he enjoys this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It seems like this is a business plan for a lot of performers and stuff.
It is, yeah.
I think it's got to be pretty lucrative, right?
I think it is.
But the other thing is, sometimes you get locked into somebody who's staying at your table.
Oh, yeah.
And you just can't look away.
I know.
You just keep eye contact and you nod while thinking like, so many people are walking past us because I'm talking to you about something.
Yeah.
And I'm not even that grubby. We're not selling anything. I'm just like,
but
this is a long conversation.
This is getting very long.
It's getting very long.
Yeah.
So it might be that, too.
It could have been that, but even if it was that...
He's a professional.
Betrayed nothing of it on his face.
He could have said, take them away.
Yeah, no, he was just totally listening.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Yeah. So okay. I was trying to get Kristen to go into the celebrity room. So I was like, you got to meet Zane.
I know. I don't know why. Just like the Saw people on Twitter were fixated on you, I've been fixated on Zane.
Yes.
As far as this con goes.
Right.
I don't know why. Ever since I saw that he was going to be here,
he's got those beautiful blue eyes.
It tickles me for some reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because Billy Zane is kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like sort of like he's a character actor.
Yes.
Sort of a B movie actor a little bit.
Yeah.
But also he's one of those performers where
he's good. He's not a bad actor or anything, but also like you kind of joke about him a little bit. And he seems fine with it, like in Zoolander.
That's what I was going to say.
You know what I mean?
That's the kind of thing, that's what elevated him, because he's like, Billy Zane in that movie is like, great show, Derek. And he goes, thanks, Billy Zane.
Yeah.
Like says the full name.
He gets that he's recognizable, but like not a humongous star.
Yeah, so he seems, it's a vibe about him.
Yeah, he's got a good vibe.
There's a meta vibe around Billy Zane.
Right.
So I was trying to get Kristen to go into the Billy Zane room, the little Billy Zane room, and she was refusing.
Yeah.
You made it sound like there was a teen. So you kind of embarrassed me in an indirect way. You made it sound as if Kristen was like, the room's right by the bathroom, and there was like no one in there, just like a few tables. So I was like, I started thinking about it almost like a green room. I walked up to security and I went, hey, I'm a vendor here. Am I allowed to go into the celebrity room? And he was like, yeah, why? Why wouldn't you be able to? Sure, go in. And then I found it, and it's just like a ton of people.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was very empty, and I was like, I'm going to feel weird walking around and like assessing the people and whether I want to talk to them or not, and they're looking at me, seeing me doing that, and then it's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And it was uncomfortable.
Why were they looking at you? They've got all these beautiful people.
No, it was like there were not a lot of people in there.
Really?
Yeah.
When I went, there were a bunch of people milling around.
So I'm doing a friggin' loop.
Yeah.
And every time I pass the table, they're looking at me to see if I'm gonna like stop or whatever. I found it uncomfortable.
Let me do a check because I took a conspicuous little video.
Okay.
Is this like how it was populated? So all these tables are obviously empty, but look at all these people down here.
William, that's like 4 people.
Oh, there were a ton of people around Tom Arnold.
Yes.
Like a ton of people around Tom Arnold.
I would say Tom Arnold and like the Terrifier and what's his name? Sean Patrick Flannery.
Yes.
Those were the most populated spots.
That was the place to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, totally. And Tom Arnold was like holding court.
Yeah.
He had his arm around the chair next to him, standing back.
Yeah.
No. Like just talk.
When I went up, he had his arm around a person he was taking a picture with, so maybe he's keeping that arm at the ready.
Maybe.
You know,
he just looked like he was relaxing, you know? Like Yeah, I'm talking.
Straight chilling.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But definitely the most no, it was exactly what I thought it was going to be like, and I found it uncomfortable.
So do you regret having gone in?
I mean, I wouldn't say regret because, like, nothing really bad happened.
Did you get out before you even, did you speak to anybody in there?
No.
You didn't approach any celebrities?
No.
Were you starstruck? You've said before that you would get starstruck seeing, like, Mick G or something. I don't remember.
Yes, like who? Mick G?
He directed Charlie's Angels.
Oh, my God, William, that is so weird. Why did you think of Mick G?
I think you said that once.
Well, maybe I did.
I think
that does sound like something I would pull out of my ass faster than you
I do think it's something that came up.
Yes, I would get starstruck if I saw Mick G. Yeah, but I also was just feeling awkward, so I didn't even get to fully process the starstruckness.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I saw Tom Arnold and I was like, whoa, Tom Arnold. Whoa, Sean Patrick Flannery. Whoa, I think that's Billy Zane. Whoa, John O'Halloran. So yes, I was a little starstruck, but I also just, my anxiety was like, this is so empty. People are wondering if I'm going to come up to them. I feel really weird. So I looped it and I bounced.
Yeah. Well, the real thing, this is the first time that they missed last year. So there's a skip year here.
Yes.
They didn't do the NJ HorrorCon last year. So this is the first time they're back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really to try to see, what is attendance like? How does this work? And
take the temperature.
Here, where the vendors are, where, the average people are.
It's jamming.
It seems really populated to me. But I will say, going into the celebrity room, it does seem less populated.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I also think maybe people don't know that it's there or something. You know what I mean?
I had no
because
idea.
When we came here as guests 2 years ago, it was all mixed together.
Yeah.
So I wonder if people don't know that it's there.
But we had several people come over and be like, did you hear that Hunk Reynolds canceled?
Yes.
At the last second? And we're like, I did not hear that. I don't know who that is.
I think and I'm not saying these things are completely separate, but I think there are probably some people who kind of come for the vendors to get, art and stuff that is horror themed.
Yeah.
And then there are also people who come and they're really excited to get things autographed and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
So I bet those autograph people were zeroed in on that room, but I think maybe there's some people who are just like, that's cool, but that's not really what I'm here for. So they didn't even worry about it.
Well, also they're so expensive. $40 to take a selfie.
That's a lot.
It takes 2 seconds to hit the button. And
I know.
I don't know.
It's a chunk of change. So
I don't know if the rates need. Who knows? I know nothing about cons.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, across from us right now is somebody.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know who.
I saw him in the celebrity room.
Okay. I don't know who he is.
And he's talking to somebody who was dressed like Silent Night, Deadly Night Santa. Mm-hmm. So I think it's probably a Silent Night, Deadly Man.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Something like that.
He's pretty engaged in the Santa of it all, so I bet you're right.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
That's cool.
And he's got his own security.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I could take that guy. Don't you?
We got a security threat right here. I'm going to call down the full force of the Showboat Casino on you.
That's right. So yeah, I don't regret going into the room. It wasn't too bad, but I didn't enjoy myself.
You got nothing out of it.
No, I got a little tiny hill blip of whoa celeb, whoa celeb, whoa celeb.
Yeah.
And a constant drip of I feel weird. Fair enough. Fine. But then on the way back, so there is a beef jerky business here that is really, really cool. They came
really
by
sweet.
And gave us a jerky flight, which was so nice.
They just gave us little samples of their stuff because honestly, so Kristen's game has been working like gangbusters here. People come, they play the game, we chat about the show a little bit, they want candy.
Yeah.
Kristen honestly has been currying favor with people
we're buying their love with candy bars.
We are. And so we started making friends with people a little bit. So this other business just came by to give us samples of their stuff.
I know,
which is just
so
nice to do.
It's called Fire Beast Jerky, and it was very delicious. So on the way back from the celebrity room, I was like, okay, I'm going to walk through the con a little bit. I want to go buy a bag of Fire Beast Jerky. I ended up buying 3. It's a family business.
Love it.
Mom, dad, kids.
Wonderful.
Very awesome. And on the way to that, I was passing tables, obviously, and my eye got caught, and I ended up spending more money than I was planning on, which is fine. I really just thought I was going to beeline to Fire Beast Jerky and then come back to the table.
Yeah.
But I ended up going to
I was actually surprised, because I would think of the two of us, I'd be more prone to go pick stuff up.
Yeah.
But I've bought nothing.
I know. Well, what I got is from a shop on Etsy called Amber Griffin Armory. Again, a family jam. It was brothers who make this stuff in their mom's garage. And I got a pet dragon in a cool cage.
Yeah, Kristen's showing on the screen right now.
It's a ceramic sleeping dragon on a chunk of rose quartz with little pieces of ostrich egg around it, like it hatched from the ostrich egg. And it's in a really pretty kind of bird cage thing.
It is cool.
So I got that. And I got a little mug that looks like a witch's cauldron and a cute little unicorn figurine. Very, very nice.
Kristen came back carrying all these bags. I was like, is that all the jerky? Did you buy 50 pounds of jerky?
I know. Even when I went up to the jerky people, they were like, whoa, what'd you get? And I was
you came back with so much stuff.
I know. Well, it's just that the box or the bag with the dragon is big.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I bought that stuff.
Right on.
Yeah. It's very neat.
I mean, there are a lot of businesses here right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people selling their artwork.
Yeah, totally.
And then people with sort of movie memorabilia and stuff like that.
Yep. Do you think you're going to take a stroll around and buy anything potentially? Is there anything that you would want?
Maybe I should do a pass, because honestly, I've been so sort of focused on trying to film few clips of things here and there. But maybe I should just go do a pass.
Why don't you go do a loop?
All right, I'm gonna go do a loop, everybody.
Yeah.
Kristen, entertain the people, or I'll cut it out.
Cut it? What are you, nuts? You could be gone for a while.
Could be gone for an hour. All right, I am back.
Yes, from your loop.
It was quite an excursion.
You were gone for a really long time.
I was gone for a very
well
long
over
time.
an hour.
An hour?
That's
think
not
so.
True.
I was
think you were gone for
a
an
half hour and change.
No.
Yeah.
No, at one point, at some point after you were gone, I looked at my phone, and it was 4:50.
Well.
And it is 5:40 now.
No way.
Yes.
So, all right, here's what happened. I went to go start to do my loop.
Yep.
I ran into the guy that said that he wants to kick kids' asses or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't hear him talk, I didn't talk to him.
Yeah.
I heard him talking to people, and he was doing that thing where, that bravado thing of going no, I'm serious, man. I'm a total piece of shit. You don't even know. I'm a total piece of shit. And I was oh, this doesn't seem happy or healthy or...
Okay.
I don't know.
Well.
Then I was trying to get us water, but the thing didn't work, so I had to go all the way the other end. So I had to go to this restaurant to get us some water to drink.
Yeah.
And as I'm standing there, I placed the order, and I wanted a slice of pizza because we've been here all day.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for it, and it's just taking forever on its own. And then a dude in front of me goes what do you mean? No, you don't have it? And then I just see him turn around and leave.
Uh-huh.
I think it's somebody that we interacted with before. I think he did the scavenger hunt.
Okay.
But he's wearing a vest with all pins and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And so he turns around to leave. And then I keep waiting, and then the chef dude comes out, and he goes, "Did you just see that guy?" And I went, "He's talking to me."
Yeah.
And I go, "No, what?" And he goes, "That guy just spit on the ground. Can you believe that?" And I turn and I look down. There's spit on the ground.
Oh, my God.
And then it turns out the dude was just hanging out in the restaurant. The chef guy goes, "Him. Yeah, that guy." And he starts yelling at him. He's like, "What do you think you're doing? You spitting on the ground over here? What's wrong with you?"
Uh-huh.
And they just start getting into a shouting match, and I'm just standing there
I'm
calmly.
just waiting for my pizza.
I'm waiting for my yummy slice. So, I don't know. That was a whole thing.
That's pretty wild.
It was pretty... It gets pretty rowdy here.
Yeah, right. At the NJ HorrorCon.
It's a big, ridiculous arena we're in. Also, I walked over to a place, and there's a huge, wrestling ring.
What?
And stuff. Yeah, down by the arcade, there's a gigantic wrestling ring and
oh my God.
a motorcycle on display. There's a lot going on in here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a hotel casino, so that's kind of what they do, I guess. Lots of stimuli.
It's very busy.
Yeah,
It's hard for me to focus.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, I did make my rounds.
Yes.
And here are some things that I got. Number one, I want to just say, because you got so much stuff and because here on the show I said I'm going to go look around for stuff to buy, I felt a significant amount of pressure to actually buy stuff. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think I genuinely, there's just so much going on, it's hard for my eyes to focus.
Yes.
I have a very hard time calming down and looking at people's tables and not being like, oh my God, they're looking at me, they want me to buy something, whatever. So I get all anxious.
Yes.
But somebody had a stand set up called VHS PS, I think. And so they're selling all of these like really obscure horror movies. That's cool. So I was looking through them all and I picked two. I picked one because it seemed interesting to me, and I picked the other because I think you would hate it.
Okay, great.
And honestly, I started looking at these thinking like, oh, hey, I'll just pick up two super obscure old horror movies, and maybe that's something that we could look at for the show and just have fun with it or something like that. We got these movies from the con.
Totally. Okay, so one of them is called Superstition. I've never heard of it. The cover is cool. It looks kind of like a vampire or something, maybe based on the fact that it's wearing a cape with something that looks like a high collar.
Yeah.
Even though it's totally backlit, so you can't see any actual features of the people on the cover.
Yeah, it's basically just a silhouette of somebody carrying a body, carrying a woman.
So that's called Superstition.
And here's you should have believed, it says on the back, all your fears, all your silly superstitions, they all came true. In 1784, Elandra Sherrick is condemned a witch and sentenced to death by crucifixion. But as the daughter of Satan, her soul is not destroyed. Her demonic spirit lurks in Black Pond, seeking vengeance.
I like Black Pond.
Black Pond, yeah. So this seemed like very like classic-y horror kind of stuff. And then this I picked up.
Yeah, I'm not loving the looks of this. It's The Clown Murders. And the cover is a guy holding kind of like a mime mask.
Yeah.
And he's got blood all over him, and it says it all started out as a joke.
Now, look at the back.
Okay, the back. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's the other reason why I got it. One, you don't like clowns.
No.
Two,
John Candy's in this.
Yeah, John Candy. It seems to be a serious role for John Candy.
Oh, my God. Okay, so this is what it says. It's close to midnight, it's Halloween, and something horrible is about to happen. John Candy, Splash, SCTV, stars in this tale of big business, lost love, and madness. It starts as a simple Halloween kidnapping to thwart a big land deal. One of those, simple. And ends.
That's like a Scooby-Doo plot, right? Like, I will.
To thwart a big land deal.
Yeah.
And ends in a nightmare of violence and murder. Be careful, clowns aren't always funny. Some can be deadly serious. The Clown Murders will keep you on the edge of your seat until its final thrilling moments.
Isn't it funny? Like, it's more uncommon for a clown to be funny these days,
yes,
right?
You're right.
Like, it would be more
unique.
unique.
They're always scary.
It'd be more unique and subversive if the clown was funny.
You're completely right.
Like, clowns are exclusively a tool of horror.
Yes, that's totally true.
Yeah.
All right.
I got these two things. I thought maybe we could take a look at them.
I'm sure we will revisit those on the show at some point.
They'll come up at some point in the future, I think. I've invested big bucks in this.
Yes, of course.
And then this, honestly, I had my eye on this place regardless.
Yeah.
One of the stalls around here is Dave Dick Illustrations. It's at Dave_Dick_. And his artwork is wonderful. It's very much like black and white, very clearly inspired by the Stephen Gamble artwork from the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark book series.
Yeah.
We've talked about Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark on this show in the past. So I love that kind of artwork. It's very like splashy and drippy and
like
stringy.
spidery kind of.
Yeah, spidery.
Yeah.
And so he's got this piece of Ghostface, which honestly, like I've been with Scream 5 around the corner, I've been listening to so many podcasts about Scream and not to gatekeep, but I feel like I hear people talk about how funny Scream is all the time. And oversell the comedy of it. Like Scream to me is not all about being funny.
No.
But this artwork by Dave Dick is all about being scary.
I do really like that.
Which I think is really, really enjoyable.
Yeah.
The white Ghostface mask is sort of like hidden within the shroud of the hood, and like there's not even any texture here. It all just looks like a black mass.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to get this framed, and as we record, my basement, our studio, was destroyed in the storm and the flood that's been going on here. But someday when we've got our studio back together, I want to have this piece framed.
Yeah, I love that.
Wall. I think it's so cool looking.
It definitely is.
It's so sort of like dramatic and like there's almost like a weird It's, Ghostface is an evil, villainous.
Yes, he's a murderer.
Frightening character.
He's a bad guy.
I feel like, I don't know. He gets turned into like a tool of being just
like from Scary Movie.
Yeah, exactly. So I sort of like to see him gone the exact other way where it's like super scary.
I like that. I also like your thought behind that. You're right. I don't know, that it's like particularly a scary depiction of Ghostface. I like that.
I think he's scary. The white of his face. Of
course. Yeah, me too.
In the dark especially.
Yes.
I was thinking about this recently. So I wrote, this is now several years ago, but I wrote a thing that I called How I Would Reboot Scream. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about it because I was like, I wonder if I stand by my writing from that long ago? Because I've done so much writing since.
Yeah.
Does that old writing embarrass me now or something like that? So I revisited it a little bit, and I've been thinking about it, and I wrote a moment that I thought was really cool where I wrote the cold open. I wrote basically the like Drew Barrymore scene. But the girl in my opening scene gets away. Mm-hmm. And what happens is she's being chased by Ghostface, and very much like, remember in the Drew Barrymore opening, while she's on the ground, she reaches up and pulls the mask off of Ghostface, but the camera pans up before you can see who it is.
Right.
In my script, I had Ghostface standing on the edge of a tree line in the dark, looking at the girl, and then she says, like, who are you, or whatever.
Yeah.
And he takes a few steps backwards into pitch black and throws the mask onto the street.
Yeah.
To basically say, like, I'm unmasking myself, but I won't let you know who I am. Uh-huh. And then the final shot was of the Ghostface mask on the street as the red and blue lights of police lights start flashing on the bone white of the skull.
Yeah.
And I was like, I actually really stand by this. It's like very visual cool. And very scary. And
I like that a lot.
Pretty cool. And like, I don't know. It's sort of the vibe. I was trying to get back to Ghostface as being a really scary, intimidating whodunit figure.
Yeah.
And this artwork, I feel like, sort of plays into, the real scary anonymity of this guy.
You're totally right.
Yeah.
So, Will, episode 200.
Yes.
What, off the top, we didn't discuss doing this.
Yeah.
What would you say is one of your favorite topics that either we've done or that you individually covered?
That's interesting. I remember, and this is going back, I'm talking about the original 10 shows.
Yeah.
I loved talking about banshees.
Yeah.
I think banshees, and admittedly, it was a million years. It's not to say that I don't love everything that came since, because we've done so much. Mm-hmm. But I loved getting into honestly, the way that we learned about banshees. I don't remember which one of us covered it.
I think I did.
You may have.
I think.
Actually, it might have been episode 1. Was it Boogeyman and Banshees?
Yes.
So
yes, it was.
I'm talking about episode 1.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that episode like changed the way that I think about storytelling. And like you talked about how it was the conventional storytelling. We're not saying this is a good thing, but this is what the story was. Old washwomen are drowned. They come back as banshees. And I started going, so if you for some reason wanted to doom somebody to an eternity as a banshee, that's what you got to do.
Right, there's like a formula to it.
There's a very simple formula.
Everybody's a banshee.
Everybody's a banshee. But I loved that, and I still think of that pretty frequently.
Yeah.
Do you have one?
I really like that. I also really liked from the first batch of episodes the Spring-Heeled Jack stories.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, so Spring-Heeled Jack was this figure in like 1800s London who people said that would like bounce from top of building to building, like blew fire onto people. There are all these very crazy sightings of this figure.
Yeah.
And I remember that as being like a fun story.
It was cool because it's also like that Jack the Ripper era.
Yeah.
But it's a humanoid. I guess is he a human or is he a demon?
I think he's supposed to be like the devil.
He's the devil. So, but he's like
a devil, I guess. So I guess a demon.
Yeah, but he's like a human
as form.
Devil, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that is really cool.
I know. I think it's a fun one.
And then, of course, I'm a big fan of any time that we like left. Honestly, like this.
Yeah.
I know that this episode sounds different because we're in a goddamn casino right now with like music blasting and people all around us.
Yeah, there's a booth somewhere that played Machine Head by Bush 3 times in a row.
What?
I don't know why.
It's a lot of times.
I know.
Yeah, one
Even
is
though
enough.
It rocks.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. We all know that.
Yeah.
But like, I love it whenever we've left. So I remember very early on, the first time we ever left was we had done Toynbee Tiles.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so then we left the studio to try to go find one. We thought we knew where one was in Edison, New Jersey. So we ended the episode out in the world.
Yep.
We've gone now to seances. We've done episodes in the car.
Yeah.
We went to see that Travis Walton documentary and then recorded an episode in the Taco Bell parking lot.
That's right. That was another one of my favorites, I think.
Yeah, mine too.
That's a good one.
We used the light of the Taco Bell for the video version of the show.
Right. Perfect ambient light.
And the big one, when we did our live show, which many people actually like traveled to.
I know.
To come see us, and we got to go out and do like actual ghost hunting.
Right.
For the sake of the show. I love all of that stuff.
I do too. We have that playing actually here at the con on Will's iPad. Like the ghost hunting thing is playing outward.
Yeah, we've just had it on a loop so that we can like sort of show people like, not that this is all that we've done, but like it's very visual, it's very interesting. You can watch us like at the Devil's Tree and stuff.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. So, yeah, I think all of that stuff.
That is all good. Is there anything in particular that was like a particular struggle to research that you remember being like, oh, this is tough?
Oh, boy.
Whether it was that, like, it ended up being something that was really hard to get all the information on because it was confusing, or something that you're like, oh, I'm already in this deep and I really like this.
Well, see, this is what's tricky is like, this is a very, very, very honest answer, and I realize that this sounds like very diplomatic, but it's true. I feel like usually if we pick a topic that I typically wouldn't really be interested in or something, I usually don't stop until I find the thing that hooks me.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I don't usually end up finding things tricky like that. Do you have something like that?
No, not off the top. Because same deal. Like, I do sometimes start to get in the weeds where I'm like, okay, so I should cover this aspect of something even though it's boring. And then I think I catch myself and I'm like, let me find the thing that I think is cool about this. And even if it's not like A+ for history, like at least it'll make it interesting.
I'll tell you what, I think that might be a very good thing.
Maybe.
Because honestly, the reason we started Guide to the Unknown in the first place, like, I don't know that we really ever say this, but like, we've been doing shows for such a long time together. Before we started Guide to the Unknown, we did a show called Book Club Schmuck Club, where we would review books. And, I never expected our shows to really like explode or take off or anything. And mostly, like, we would just spend a ton of money on equipment not knowing what we were doing.
Yeah.
And recording shows and sending them out there not knowing if people would even actually like them.
Totally.
And we ended Book Club Schmuck Club because we started to be like, I don't know if this is doing it for us anymore. I don't know if we're into this.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that we've now been doing Guide to the Unknown as long, if not slightly longer, than Book Club Schmuck Club.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, I still feel really in it.
Me too.
And more invested.
Definitely.
Like, I'm really, really interested in like the future of Guide to the Unknown.
Yeah, totally. It's so much fun, and there's so much to explore. There's just, it never ends in a good way. There's so many weird things out there, mysteries, like weird cryptids, stories about creatures, ghost stories, endless.
Even like super obscure stuff. That's some of my favorite stuff. When we talk about something that I've never heard before.
Yep. Yeah, I've learned so friggin' much.
But I've also forgotten a lot. Admittedly, I have a very hard time.
I guess I should say we have, like in the moment, I've covered so friggin' much. Have I learned and absorbed it? Not sure.
We should compete against each other.
Yeah, like quiz each other on past shows.
On Guide to the Unknown knowledge.
That's a good idea.
That would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is a good idea. Yeah. I like that.
But like, having said all that, like, this show has done pretty well for us.
Yeah.
To be sure. Like, we had, admittedly, it's odd times and we're in a very specific location, but we did have somebody come out who was like, yeah, we know you. And they even said to us a phrase that was really sweet. It was like, He said, like, you're more
known than you know you are.
Yeah, you might be more known than you realize.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was just like,
it's really sweet.
It was very sweet. And I still feel like what I'm invested in is the fun more than anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love learning this stuff, but I'm here to like make Guide to the Unknown and have it be the thing that like is like a fun like vacation from everything else.
Yeah,
and it's like a good time.
Totally. Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild that we've been doing this for this long.
I know.
And
it truly is.
200 episodes.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
What do you think about the future? What do you think the future has in store? Or we've got some things that we've talked about on the side that I don't think we really want to announce here or anything like that.
I don't think so.
But do you think that you could possibly give like a hint about?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to start offering a lot more material soon.
I think so.
I think I may go as far as to say, William, double your pleasure, double your fun.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Double your pleasure, double your fun. Look at patreon.com/GTTUpod.
Yeah.
And then consider doubling your pleasure and doubling your fun.
That's right. So I think that's where it's going to be going, and doing different kinds of things, different formatted stuff.
Yeah, a lot of variety, I think, is in our future.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is cool.
And I would like to keep doing things like this.
So would I. I will say, here's something. I did feel weird. So we're sitting here, we're not wearing masks at the moment, but we're also pretty socially distant from people. But when we've gone to walk around and everything, we mask up.
Yeah.
I feel pretty uncomfortable.
I
have to tell you. And like, I think I'm going to want to take a COVID test, like pretty soon after we leave.
Yeah.
But I do love doing this, and it's been fun interacting with people, and like we've had plenty of instances, and you may have heard some in the final version of the show. I don't know if I cut them out or not, but like where we'd go like, hey, do you want to watch this? No? Okay, have a good day.
Oh, totally.
And that you just have to let them go. Also, early on when I had more energy at 11 a.m., I would just shout at people. I told somebody to like sink their teeth into a sweetie.
Oh my God,
Something like that.
I know. And I was like, Will, no one is going to respond to that. That's so weird.
I knew that they weren't. I knew that they were
it was
not
for
interested.
you.
It was for me.
Yeah.
I said it for me.
I know.
But like, it's fun to be out here and be weird and do the show.
Yeah, totally.
And, I don't know. I do feel somewhat like we are professionals, especially in our dorky little Guide to the Unknown shirts.
I know. Like little Gap employees.
I know. Yes. Yeah. It's funny.
Totally. What?
I think we need more juice. I don't know what. Let me pause this because of battery.
Yeah.
All right. Guess what, everybody? The camera that we were using died. That's okay. It didn't look very good. But that means that we're going to switch to the phone.
Yeah.
And now that we're recording from a phone, you know what that means?
We're going to take the show on the road and walk around this place.
We're about to go mobile, y'all. Let's check this place out.
Oh. See, I told you.
Yeah, I see Billy Zane.
I told you. I told you.
Yeah, I'm not filming Kristen. I'm not filming Billy Zane. I'm filming Kristen.
That's right. He's behind me in a cowboy hat, a mask, and sunglasses.
Look at him.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Video version only, I guess.
What'd you say?
Video version only.
Well, you can believe us.
Incidentally.
What's his name?
Who?
Tom Arnold.
Oh my God.
I can't.
Let's ask if they take your card.
Wait, what?
Let's ask if they take your card.
All right.
I wonder if he'll do basically a live cameo. There's been a development. We have to move.
Yeah.
Mr. Arnold, Mr. Tom Arnold.
Mr. Arnold's time is money. It's precious. He told us to hurry up, and so we're hurrying.
Mr. Arnold has requested an audience with us.
That's right.
What's going to cost?
Yeah, he said he'll make it worth our while. I don't know what that means.
But it's going to be good.
Yeah.
All right, Kristen and Will, it's Tom Arnold here. We are having a threesome. It's always been my dream, brother and sister.
I knew this was coming.
I actually was going to go this way.
When you were double checking a couple times, I knew it.
Listen, I tell you, Kristen, wait a minute, which one's Kristen?
The one on your left.
Oh, yeah. Your glasses are fogging up just like mine fog up.
It's okay if I take. We're both vaccinated. Yeah.
Always
That's not telling anybody, but I'm very vaccinated. But I'm also a big man, and I know what it's like to have your glasses fog up.
Oh, yeah, it's tricky.
And, you know, but you don't have anything against big men, do you?
Yeah, wait a second. No, never.
Now, you've been a fan of us for how long?
Oh, for however long it took you to go to the ATM. But I will say this, I liked you guys when I met you. I said, they're easy to get along with. I'll say, because I was going to say, hey, watch your podcast. But I said, let's sit down and do an interview.
That is
I know,
true.
it was really nice.
Yeah.
We first approached, we tried to get 10 seconds of Mr. Arnold's time
And
saying...
he volunteered that he would do more.
Well,
For no
that's
reason but
good.
being nice.
Well, I also, you guys didn't mention this because you don't know it, but I have a podcast.
Yes.
Do you really know that?
We do know that.
I looked it up out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, now you guys your podcast is called Adventures of the Unknown. What is it?
Guide to the Unknown. You know.
Guide to the Unknown. Of course I do.
You know what the name is.
Of course I do. And what do you think about being here at the convention? We're here at a convention for horror movies and such. And what do you guys really think about being here?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the very brutal truth. I enjoy myself. This is the first time we ever bought a table to go to a convention.
What does buying a table mean? I know you said that.
It's like this. Well, you've got two
your stuff out there?
Yeah, we got our stuff in the other room. They don't put us in the celebrity room. I don't know why.
Not yet.
Yeah.
We're so well known. But so it's great. And quite frankly, 99% of the people that come up are really kind, really nice. And then you get the people that sort of like stick around for a good long while.
They're called drifters. They drift.
Yeah, they force you to sit down with them and wrap your arms around them like this.
But sometimes they're, I mean, there's a lot of people that come to these conventions that are on the spectrum. I'm on the spectrum. And you just got to know, you go, okay, this is going to be we're going to have, first of all, they really care about these movies.
Yep.
And so you get a minute, you're having a little bit of fun with them. And so it's great. I mean, not everybody's as fun as you guys.
No.
I mean, how can they? Tell me how you grew up.
Oh, we grew up in the middle of nowhere in Connecticut. Yeah, okay. In the woods.
That's like Iowa, where I grew up. Now, my sister is the queen of meth. You can see on Discovery Plus. How are you, buddy? You see Discovery Plus. There's a documentary series about her.
Yeah.
What did your sister ever do for you?
Nothing.
Jesus.
What are you setting them up for?
Exactly.
Well, you weren't the queen of meth.
No, not the queen of meth.
Yeah.
No, honestly, we had a really good childhood. So growing up in the middle of nowhere, we heard urban legends about like the guy, behind the house stabbed his dad on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that happens.
Kristen knew of a guy that like hung himself in his basement. Like all of these horror stories. And honestly, so I ended up growing up to become a horror writer, and we do now a horror show. So honestly, it all sort of contributed.
Well, you do. I grew up in the Midwest in Iowa, and next to where Ed Gein was from, and Jeffrey Dahmer, and also John Wayne Gacy. So it seems like the people that are, you talk about the fellow hanging himself, that people like to make stuff out of skin where I'm from. And I worked in the kill floor of a meatpacking plant for 3 years out of high school, and I can see where they get that. There's you skin a lot of stuff out there.
It becomes normalized.
It becomes normalized, and you're like, well, I killed this person. I might as well use their skin to make me in lab shades. Like, for real, that's how crazy. Here's the thing, people are left alone too long.
Yeah.
And they're out in these farmhouses by themselves, and they, it just gets creepy.
So I want to ask you, so we're at the HorrorCon. How do you feel about these events and horror fans? We got a guy dressed like Michael Myers that just slowly walks through the...
There's also people with fake guns, so that kind of worries me. I was in Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago at SteelCon, and there was guys walking around dressed like soldiers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what if,
It's not the right time. Well, so your position here, honestly, you're in the corner here.
Yeah.
You've got the view of the arena.
Yeah, but
like, do you feel comfortable here? Like, how do you feel? Especially horror fans must really hound you about Freddy's Dead.
Yeah,
right?
they do. I feel totally comfortable, and I can see you guys coming from. I said we were arguing if that was you guys. I go, no, that's them. That's the podcast host. They're coming back. No, I see them. I see the little microphone in his hand.
Well, hey, listen, we weren't here to be a pain in your ass.
No, you weren't. Yeah. It worked out well because right before you were here, somebody was a huge pain in my ass.
Yeah.
And so.
How do we avoid this?
A lot of people have come up and asked me to do their stuff for their podcast here, and it's just not possible.
Right.
But I met a lot of very nice people, but I also have a lot of respect for what you guys do. Plus, you're unusual. You're a brother and sister team. That's very relatable.
I'll tell you what. This is not our day job. We do this for fun.
I realize that.
Well, I mean, for one, shit. But hey, listen, I do entertainment stuff for my job.
Yeah.
But so this we do for the fun of it.
Yeah, of course.
And so honestly, we feel super laid back. The thing I feel good about us, some people develop that energy of really. It's not work, it's not taking, but you've got to double down and try even harder, and it doesn't feel organic, it doesn't fit.
No, it doesn't feel.
And honestly, I'm here to have a good time.
Yeah, and I can tell you guys are very smart. And it's hard to tell with some people. But, this is also good because it's been a slow convention because of terrible rains and the terrible storms out here.
We lost our podcast set in the flood.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. My entire home office, I'm a horror writer, so... Yeah.
Oh, you lost what? Did you lost your computer?
No, I lost my basement. I yanked everything out of there, man. Yeah. I got all my gear out, but we're not gonna be down there for a while.
We had a set.
But you did?
Yeah.
Oh, we should do that on ours.
Have a set?
Yeah,
do
that's
you guys do video?
Yeah, we do, and it's me and my assistant Sasha, who's 30 and just has terrible opinions about everything. And but she's great because she lives with the kids and She helps with the kids. And getting somebody who's good with your kids.
Yeah,
it's worth putting up with a bunch of crap.
Oh, hey, we're looking at daycares right this second.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The one good thing about COVID is my kids got to be home for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Especially my daughter, I did not have her do Zoom preschool. I said, this is going to be a year, I hope you remember, that I will remember that you and Dad had a bunch of adventures.
Yep.
And my son had to do, he was so bad at it. Zoom school is the man. The daycares, those people, you get good people, those saints.
Yes.
People that work with kids and take care of our kids and they're the best of the best.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And they're working really hard right now, especially.
All right. Well, guys,
can we get you to say one last thing?
Yes,
So
I
this is our 200th episode of Guide to
I
the
know,
Unknown.
that's why I'm on it, the 200th episode. It's an honor. How often do you do your podcast?
Every week.
So that's 4 years.
We barely missed a week.
Oh my God, you guys are amazing.
We do it for fun, but we prioritize it like a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell me what to say. Congratulations to the Adventure Zone. What is it, the Adventure Zone? I like it.
It doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't
I
matter.
love that show.
He's pretending he doesn't know everything about us.
No.
Guide to the Unknown.
Yeah, it's Tom Arnold. It's the 200th anniversary show of Guide to the Unknown. I'm here with my brother and sister. We're enjoying it. And thank you guys for listening and being fans. All 7 of you.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you and we love you.
Next year, we're going to make it to 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're fans. 8 fans.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe we'll have another kid.
Yeah, why not?
Me and you together.
That'd
be a big baby.
We just put the belly buttons
Yeah,
on my
yeah.
wife's tummy, and that's our next listener. Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
This has been
Thank
really
you,
fun.
guys.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Whoosh.
So there you have it, a wild ride. What do you think?
Tom Arnold referred to this as our 200th anniversary.
I mean, it's, kind of.
Were that the case, we would have begun in the year 1821.
Well, I guess if you think of the anniversary week to week, you know
True.
what I mean?
Yes,
so then
yes,
it
yes.
is our 200th anniversary of our first show.
Whoever could have expected from episode 1 of this show that someday we would be sitting down with Mr. Tom Arnold?
So weird. Also, did all of you out there catch the clue that I left for you on social media? When I posted
Kristen, she's so proud of herself for this.
to let everybody know that there wasn't going to be a live show this week, I said, don't worry, it'll still be out like normal. Watch it or else you may as well be a resident of Dolt Manor.
Now, I read that myself, and I just thought it was funny that you'd say you're going to feel like a resident of Dolt Manor. You're going to feel so dumb
Right.
that you didn't listen to the show or
But I
whatever.
capitalized Dolt Manor. Didn't that seem strange?
No, because sometimes you like to highlight a stupid joke you came up with.
I guess that's true. Yeah, you're right. Well, Dolt Manor was an anagram for Tom Arnold. It was looking you in the face all
Staring
week.
in the face. It was Tom
And then I
Riddle.
put the emoji that has a little monocle eye that's like wondering.
Oh.
That's indicating that something is going on in this post.
You should do that every time going forward if you hide something then so that people will know something is hidden.
Yes, I should.
Honestly, I'm really proud of you for putting an anagram for Tom Arnold in the post saying there wouldn't be a live show this week.
Thank you.
It's really ridiculous
Thank you.
and stupid.
Dolt Manor.
Kristen texted me being like, did you catch my anagram? I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. So I
Like a
went
real
back through
sickie.
several of her posts and I was like, Dolt Manor sticks out like a sore thumb with that context. Oh my God, it's Tom Arnold. she teased it way back when.
I did.
From the very beginning, it was
I
teased.
know. I'm devious and diabolical.
We should go back to episode 1 and hide like an EVP at the end that just goes like, he's coming.
We're just foreshadowing
Mr.
Mr.
Arnold is
Arnold's
coming.
throughout the entire show.
Now, I don't know how this is all going to be cut together because the NJ HorrorCon was a whirlwind of a day.
Yes.
But I think it should go without saying we did not expect.
A 20-minute conversation? No, we did not.
Oh, by the way, there's no way I'm putting that full thing in the
I know,
finished
I know.
episode. But we did
But that's
speak
how
to,
long it was.
We did speak to Mr. Arnold for 20 minutes.
Yes.
I think I would like to put the full thing
Yeah.
on Patreon or
Yes.
something. Or maybe just after the end here, just as a wacky...
Sure.
Here's what it was to talk to Tom Arnold for 20
I'm cool
minutes.
with whatever, yeah.
He was incredibly charitable with his time.
Yes.
He did not have to do that. But he also clearly didn't really want to talk about Freddy's Dead,
No.
The Final Friday, or...
No.
Wait, Freddy's Dead, The Final Friday. That's not right.
No, it's not.
Freddy's Dead and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6, I think.
I don't know.
But yeah, he wasn't really interested in that kind of thing, which is what we'd talk about.
Yes, right. No,
But-
he was just kind of talking about, like, his life and beliefs and
And politics.
yeah.
But he was a
He was so
wonderfully
nice.
Obviously, we had
This
originally...
is now a Tom Arnold Stan account.
Evidently, and I am shocked.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming.
Didn't see it coming at all. But, and especially now, it's, we're back home. My home studio is ruined.
Yeah.
So we're recording in a different space right now, but we're a couple days removed.
William, I tell you something that I'm embarrassed to tell you, but like whatever, and to tell the people, when you mentioned your home studio being ruined to Tom Arnold, did you have, well, I had a half second of like, what if he takes us on as a charitable case and like buys us a new studio?
That's where your mind went?
Briefly.
You thought Mr. Arnold.
Briefly,
who
yes.
we paid $50 to talk to.
Briefly, yes. He was like, oh, it was destroyed? Oh, and I was like, oh my God. Could Mr. Arnold save us?
If this show became like a Tom Arnold production,
Well, I wasn't thinking that, but I thought maybe he'd be like, look, he seemed like a nice kid. Again, I thought about this for 1 second.
If contractually we had to refer to this as Mr. Arnold's Guide to the Unknown.
It would be like Noah Vanderhoff's Wayne's World.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yes. Wayne's World brought to you by Noah's Arcade.
Yes, so it would be Guide to the Unknown brought to you by Tom Arnold.
Right.
Is what we would contractually have to call this show.
Be proud.
For the next 200 episodes.
Right.
We're 200 episodes deep. It's Tom Arnold's Guide to the Unknown.
That's right.
No.
So that didn't occur to you.
Kristen?
Me neither.
It didn't occur to me for a millisecond.
Me neither.
Not at all. Not once.
Me neither.
Oh, Kristen. That's
weird.
really... That's... Yeah. No, it didn't. I don't know. I don't even know what to think of that. I also wasn't looking at Tom Arnold as
like
a
a
meal
piggy
ticket.
bank.
Yeah.
I wasn't either. It was however he responded.
Licking your lips, sizing up Mr. Arnold's wallet.
No. It ended up being part
Poor
of
Mr. Arnold.
Oh, stop it. It ended up being part of a pattern with him, which he seemed very engaged and caring and asking questions.
Yes. Yeah.
But so that just happened to be one of them where he was like, oh, it was destroyed? Like, what happened? Whatever. And I was like, maybe he's going to save us.
Mr. Arnold will save us. We don't even need saving. I'll get a new floor installed. It'll be okay. It ain't great, but it's not like, we're not living on a raft.
I know.
Maybe Mr. Arnold will save us.
I know. I'm obviously being joking.
She's not joking at all. You all don't know Kristen the way that I do. She's being dead serious. No,
I forced William to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, to be honest, we only even went to speak to Tom Arnold because we were like, I think we both need to go into the celebrity room.
Yeah,
at the
we were like, it'll
Comic-Con.
be a good finish.
And then we saw that he was unencumbered.
Right, and when we had both gone in separately, he was very cumbered.
He was frequently busy.
Yes.
But he had a little bit of time as the con was wrapping up, but they needed $50 in cash. Mm-hmm. So Kristen and I don't think this is something that's going to make the show very plainly, or maybe I'll drop the contextless clips at the end because I did take audio of us as we were running from ATM to ATM, but we were like, oh, it's going to be $50. Do you take a card? Mm-hmm. Do you take an IOU?
Yeah.
Venmo? They don't. Mr. Arnold's agent was like, $50,
cash
little man.
only.
Put that shit in my hand. If that money doesn't show, then you owe me. So we ran out to go to an ATM that was down. Then we waited online for the front desk, and I even said, Tom Arnold needs this money.
Yeah.
And they said, well, Mr. Arnold's going to have to learn to be patient.
Right.
Is what they said back to us, which was...
It was amazing.
outstanding.
Yeah.
So we had to rush to the other end of the casino to get to a different ATM. Mm-hmm. And as we were running back, I started filming the money in my hand and going, Mr. Arnold needs this. And Kristen's he needs this. Mr. Arnold needs this money.
He had said, make it quick.
Right. So it was fueling our every step.
Yeah.
And we made it back in time.
Thank God.
And he cleared seats for us. And he sat, for people that don't look at the video, he wrapped his arms around us.
My hand was like kind of on his leg just by like virtue of the way we were like smushed.
We were smushed in together, the three of us.
Yeah.
Thick as thieves.
Thick as thieves.
And honestly, we did it mostly for the spontaneous joke of who expected us to talk to any celebrity at the end. And it's Tom Arnold?
Yes.
What's happening? But he turned out to be
lovely.
A very kind person.
Yeah, seemed like a lovely person. Like very good. Yeah.
The other thing that I want to shout out from our experience at the HorrorCon is that as we were sitting at the table at one point, somebody walked up to the table who was in character. Mm-hmm. You get a lot of cosplayers there. But at the horror convention, it was a fellow who was dressed like Joe Dirt.
Right.
The David Spade character from the movie Joe Dirt.
20 years ago.
He's pulling a wagon that has a movie prop in it, which we know to be a fused frozen ball of poop from an airplane that happens in that movie. And I immediately popped there. I was like, we have to get a picture with him.
Yeah.
So Kristen and I take a picture with this Joe Dirt impersonator. Mm-hmm. He puts a Guide to the Unknown pin front and center on his denim overalls.
Huge for us.
Prime placement.
You couldn't buy that kind of advertising.
It's free real estate.
Right.
And so we take a series of pictures with Joe Dirt and we put them on the Guide to the Unknown Instagram, tagging David Spade. Mm-hmm. We wrote, dreams do come true.
Yep.
At David Spade. David Spade shares it on his Instagram stories and just writes no filters. Because it was like...
Incredible.
It was like a little old man.
Yeah, right.
A little old man dressed like Joe Dirt. We saved it to our reels on at GTTU Pod on Instagram. Yeah. But what a star-studded day.
I know, so many brushes with fame.
Oh my God.
Man.
We've never come that close before.
No. Absolutely. So what a 200th episode.
Certainly no one else that we've ever spoken to is quite as big as an elderly Joe Dirt impersonator.
No, certainly not. That kind of power and cachet in Hollywood. No experience with it.
Do you have any final thoughts now that we are a couple days removed? We're back at home, like I said. Do you have any? Did you enjoy yourself?
It was a whirlwind. I enjoyed myself, but I went to sleep. Like this was just purely a almost like a biological function or something. I went to sleep and I was still imagining talking to people at the con, like me going like, hey, I want to play HorrorCon bingo. These scenes were just playing in my head like synapses were firing.
Yeah. People really seem to enjoy it.
They did.
I want to say by the end of the day, we had run out of stickers and magnets. We had run out of pins. People had taken them. They were wearing them. They seemed happy about them.
Yeah.
We almost got all the way through the bingo cards.
Yeah.
We were quite busy, I have to say.
Yes.
And honestly, we might even have some new listeners from the convention listening to this episode right now.
And if we do, welcome.
But more than anything, I want to say thank you to everybody who has stuck with us for 200 episodes.
Yeah.
It is incredible. And it is special, and it means a lot to us. Mm-hmm. And we have a lot of fun stuff that we're working on for the future. Some of it might even be the more immediate future.
Yeah.
So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. But it's been a wild 200 episodes. I cannot wait for more. I said it in the body of this show, but like, hey, we've done stuff in the past where I start to burn out after a few years. Mm-hmm. I'm like ready to double down.
Totally.
I love Guide to the Unknown. And
I do too.
I love the community and how positive people are.
Me too.
About this ridiculous show. And especially I know for our 200th episode, we got to do something big and ridiculous and fun.
Yeah, just coincidentally.
And it became something of like a patchwork of clips by the end, where like some of it's at the table and you can hear us talk to people and Tom Arnold, but now we're home. This is a very special, different kind of show that we never have done before.
Yeah.
And it's just so fun to get to do for a big momentous event like our 200th show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you all for sticking with us.
Yes, thank you.
Make sure that you go check out patreon.com/GTTUpod if you crave more. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a Netherworld Dispatch coming up where we review Candyman 2.
Yeah.
And then maybe...
Well,
I'm calling it Candyman 2.
Yeah.
It's Candyman 2021. I forgot to...
Right.
I guess I forgot to say
the
other...
021.
I forgot the 021.
Yeah.
2021. Sorry, my brain's now moving faster or slower than my mouth. I can't tell. But a lot of fun stuff is coming to patreon.com/GTTUpod. So if you need more Guide to the Unknown, don't worry. We gotcha.
It's coming.
Mm-hmm. Make sure you hit up gttupod.com. That will bring you to also things like our merch pages, all of our previous shows, our social media pages at GTTUpod, and you can even follow us online.
That's right. I'm at Chillin' Kristen.
I am at The Myth Traveler. So happy 200, everybody.
Yes.
We will see you next week for a blast from the past. But until that time comes, for the 200th time, we must travel.
Back to the Netherworld go we again. Also, is it so cuckoo that I just said that at the end of the first episode? That's how that happened?
Is that right?
Yes.
That's how we came up with that?
Yes. I just went back to Netherworld go we.
And we just held on to it.
Yeah.
I like it. I really like that.
I know. It's so weird.
It's fun.
I just pulled it out of my ass.
And the Netherworld, it's really getting comfy.
Oh, yeah.
Travel there so many times.
Absolutely.
We really made it ours.
Familiar with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You're in
We're
demand.
going to start our interview. What's your name?
Kristen.
Kristen?
Will.
Will. And what is it called? The venture?
Guide to the unknown.
You can edit this. So you see my background here. There's some fire extinguisher. Get it closer. Get it closer. All right, Kristen and Will. It's Tom Arnold here. We are having a threesome. It's always been my dream. Brother and sister.
I knew this was coming.
I actually was going to go this way.
When you were double checking it a couple times, I knew it.
Listen, I tell you, Kristen. Wait a minute. Which one's Kristen?
The one on your left.
Oh yeah. Your glasses are foggy up, just like mine fog up.
It's okay if I take. We're both
I'm
vaccinated.
vaccinated.
Yeah.
Always.
That's not telling anybody, but I'm very vaccinated. But I'm also a big man, and I know what it's like to have your glasses fog up.
Oh yeah, it's tricky.
And you know, but you don't have anything against big men, do you?
Yeah, wait a second. No, never.
Now you've been a fan of us for how long?
Oh, for however long it took you to go to the ATM. But I will say this, I like you guys when I met you. I said, they're easy to get along with. I'll say, because I was going to say, hey, watch your podcast. But I said, let's sit down and do an interview.
That is
I know,
true.
it was really nice.
Yeah.
We first approached, we tried to get 10 seconds of Mr. Arnold's time
And
saying,
he volunteered that he would do more.
Well,
for no
that's
reason
good.
but being nice.
Well, I also, that you guys didn't mention this because you don't know it, but I have a podcast.
yes.
Do you really know that?
We do know that.
I looked it up out there.
Oh, yeah. Well, now you guys your podcast is called Adventures of the Unknown. What is it?
Guide to the unknown. You know.
Guide to the Unknown. Of
You
course I
know
do.
what the name is.
Of course I do. And what do you think about being here at the convention? We're here at a convention for horror movies and such. And what do you guys really think about being here?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the very brutal truth. I enjoy myself. This is the first time we ever bought a table to go to a convention.
What does
ourselves.
buying a table mean? I know you said that.
It's like this. Well, you've got
you got
two
your stuff out there?
Yeah, we got our stuff in the other room. They don't put us in the celebrity room. I don't know why.
Not yet.
Yeah.
We're so well known. But so it's great. And quite frankly, 99% of the people that come up are really kind, really nice. And then you get the people that sort of like stick around for a good long while.
Drifters. They're called drifters. They drift.
Yeah, they force you to sit down with them and wrap your arms around them like this.
But sometimes they're, there's a lot of people that come to these conventions that are on the spectrum. I'm on the spectrum. And you just got to know, you go, okay, this is going to be we're going to have, first of all, they really care about these movies.
Yep.
And so you get a minute, you're having a little bit of fun with them. And so it's great. I mean, not everybody's as fun as you guys.
No.
I mean, how can they? Tell me how you grew up.
Oh, we grew up in the middle of nowhere in Connecticut. Yeah,
Okay.
in the woods.
That's like Iowa, where I grew up. Now, my sister is the queen of meth. You can see it on Discovery Plus. How are you, buddy? You see Discovery Plus. There's a documentary series about her.
Yeah.
What did your sister ever do for you?
Nothing.
Jesus.
What are you setting him up for?
Exactly.
You weren't the queen of meth.
No, not the queen of meth.
Yeah.
No, honestly, we had a really good childhood. So growing up in the middle of nowhere, we heard urban legends about like the guy, behind the house stabbed his dad on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that happens.
Kristen knew of a guy that like hung himself in his basement.
Of course
Like
he did.
all of these horror stories. And honestly, so I ended up growing up to become a horror writer, and we do now a horror show. So honestly, it all sort of contributed.
Well, you do. I grew up in the Midwest in Iowa, and next to where Ed Gein was from, and Jeffrey Dahmer, and also John Wayne Gacy. So it seems like the people that are, you talk about the fellow hanging himself, that people like to make stuff out of skin where I'm from. And I worked in the kill floor of a meatpacking plant for 3 years out of high school. And I can see where they get that. There's you skin a lot of stuff out there.
It becomes normalized.
It becomes normalized, and you're like, well, I killed this person. I might as well use their skin to make me in lampshades. Like, for real, that's how crazy. Here's the thing, people are left alone too long.
Yeah.
And they're out in these farmhouses by themselves, and they, it just gets creepy.
Yeah.
Remember that Brothers Keeper, that documentary where the brothers slept together?
Yep.
Yeah, you guys don't do that. I mean, no, of course.
No, thank you, Mr. Arnold.
No, I'm not.
This is a family show.
No, it is. And how many other brothers and sisters do you have?
Actually, 2. So a little bit of a sad story. Our oldest sister, Karen, coming up 5 years now, was killed by a drunk driver.
Oh, that's horrible.
But then our next oldest sister, Lynn, actually came by the hotel to visit us because we were here for the convention. So we're pretty
Well, she's actually
close
came
now.
by to visit me. Let's be honest with you.
You know,
Yeah,
but she played it cool. You know?
Yeah, like way under the radar, like she didn't even come in.
Yeah.
Right.
I gotta tell you, a few years ago, on one of Will's first dates with his wife, I bought him tickets to see you at the Stress Factory in New
Oh, well,
Brunswick.
why didn't you say that at the beginning? Now we got.
I know.
We could have saved all this money.
But you married.
Thousands.
How long? Are you still married?
Oh, yeah.
After 5 years?
Oh, yeah.
Are you kidding me? How do you do that,
Been
Will?
a long time, man. Hey, we just had a new baby, 7 months old.
Oh my God, Mazel tov. Well, there's nothing better than that. Let me tell you. So you're an aunt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. When they're 7 months old, my kids are 5 and 8 now.
Yeah.
But when they're 7 months old, they're right here, and you can do everything. You can feed them. You can bathe them. You go. You sleep together. You do everything, and they don't run away. Because the older they get, the more you're going to have to chase them, and then eventually one will go this way, and the other will go that way. And I do miss that. Surely you took some night duty. Surely you changed all the diapers.
Yes.
Because I'm telling you, it's money in the bank. They know it, and your wife already had a 9-month head start sharing a central nervous system.
Oh, yeah.
And so you got to get in there. And people are like, well, when my son was born, my friends are like, oh, let your ex-wife do everything until he's 7 and he'll be fun. And I was 54. I go, I don't know where I'll be until she's 7. Right. I'm going to do everything right now. And then I had a daughter 2.5 years later, and I said, I'm not going to give her any less than I've given him.
Yeah.
And you sense the bond.
Oh, yeah.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger, who I did a movie with a long time ago, very good friends, told me that when his first kid was born, his daughter, everybody pushed him out of the way. Oh, I know how to do this. No, you aren't doing this right. Don't change that. And he backed off. And then the next kid, he's like, hell with that. I may do it wrong, but I'm going to do it. And it really shows how close he is,
I'll
He's
tell you
very
what,
close to him.
before my daughter was being born, I got to get myself on camera for this wonderful thing.
Yeah.
No, people
Did you get that on camera, your daughter being born?
My daughter was, oh, you know what? No.
I did.
I deliberately didn't film
I got
it.
your daughter on camera.
You got that?
I got my kids. And they had C-sections.
Oh, yeah.
But I was right there, man.
My wife wanted, if she was going to have a C-section, she wanted to see it. She wanted to be able to, watch.
Because you don't. My ex-wife
put the
did
barrier.
not see.
Yeah.
And it was a good thing on the second one because it was difficult. And all of a sudden, I'm there. Again, I grew up on a farm. I birthed a lot of, women don't like this. Cows and horses. And all of a sudden, so I'm ready there. But plus, you're always ready. Yeah. You're the partner. You're like, man, if anything goes sideways, I'm here. And all of a sudden, my daughter was kind of in a bad spot inside of her mom. And all of a sudden, I see him look at another nurse who comes running over, and her head is separated, so she can't see. She's had an epidural. And the one nurse puts the knee on the mom's shoulder because they have to get some. And I was like, I'm going to get in here. I'm going to do this myself if this goes.
Oh, wow.
But, everything turned out fine.
Nice, good.
But she was sore.
Yep.
And so she couldn't hold our daughter. So for the first 4 hours of her life, this is embarrassing. You'll relate to this. I had to take my shirt off in front of people and have skin to skin.
That's the whole thing, yeah. Yo, I had to do
I would
that.
have planned better.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, our mom also had problems when she was giving birth to me, so she couldn't hold me for a long time. So I can at least relate to the story on that. And also I want to mention, our dad was in his 50s when we were born.
Oh, nice.
My dad was 52 when I was born.
Well, he was smarter than he would have been at 18.
Right.
My dad was 18, my mom was 16. And by the way, your mom not holding you, if you see the Queen of Meth documentary series about my sister, you'll see you're lucky. You're lucky you had a mom. Our mom was a lunatic. The first time we ever drank or did drugs because our mom gave it to us. And it sounds fun now, but it's not fun. You guys have turned out to be pretty square in a good way.
Oh,
in a good way.
Man,
Kristen too.
I was not square for a while.
I wasn't either. We have the best. We're the best people.
I know.
People that
It's
live the
pretty
life
awesome.
and now are sober, and we tell our tales. And the best thing about sober people, because you'll sit next to a guy that's like, the last time I drank, I did this, and this scumbag, and you'll go, oh my God, I love you.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Now, do you go to meetings or anything? Is it inappropriate?
I don't anymore.
But this to me, you just told me you're sober. I told you I was sober. This counts. It's 2 sober people.
That's nice.
What's your deal?
I for a very long time, I can't hold the camera.
You got very shaky there.
My arms getting tired. For a very long time, like I do consider myself to have like been drinking way too much.
Yeah.
I still drink, but
Well, normal people are like you.
Barely
They go,
ever.
yeah, I was drinking too much. I'm going to cut it down and drink like a normal person. That never worked for me. I don't know about you. But I was like, oh, now I better drink more.
Oh, I don't consider it a superpower or anything to hold over. I'm just saying that's what I did.
Well, no, that's the
But I
difference.
do just about nothing.
But the difference between you're a normie and we have a thing. And it may be in our DNA, but there's something. And what's great is realizing it.
Yeah.
Thank God.
You know, otherwise you try to fight it, you try to lie around it, you try to.
Well,
of course.
Yeah, and you see how that drags on and on and on.
It's a shitty way to live.
Yeah, it is a horrible way to
Feels
live.
like a waste.
It's exhausting. People are like, and the addiction is not a good thing to have.
No.
You know, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Actually, I would on my worst enemy. But
who's your worst enemy?
Donald Trump.
Yeah, well, there you go. I've seen you talking.
Yeah, I've known. I met him here in Atlantic City. Roseanne and I did an HBO special at the Trump Castle, or one of his places went bankrupt. And he weaseled his way into it. He's like, hey, listen, I got an idea. I got a friend that has a Duesenberg, like a $3 million car. I'll drive Roseanne out on stage in it. And I was like, oh, that's right. He's like, yeah, he'll do it for free. You know, I'll take care of it. And this farmer boxed up this car and drove it like 6 hours up here. And then he didn't get paid by Donald Trump. I paid him. But I was like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute. That's Donald Trump.
Right.
But then when he started running for president, I'm like, oh, this is the worst idea ever.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you must have. I mean, everybody did, but having like a little bit of a backstage pass, what he's like, must have been like, you gotta be fucking.
Well, yeah.
Well, also for a while, you said you had the receipts, right?
Well, I do. You know, since then, if you go on the internet, you can see that Michael Cohen became a friend of mine. We got a lot of recordings of him, which led to.
I watched your show. Was it a Vice show?
It was a Vice show, and the Vice show is really about examining. It was 8 episodes, 8 tapes that exist or don't exist, and examining it. What was great was I got to work with great journalists. And my thing with Vice is, they're like, oh no, you're serious about this. I go, yeah, I don't want to do a reality show. I'm going for this, and I'm going to do as much as I can, expose as much as I can. So it's great that you let me use these cameras for X amount of time. Mm-hmm. But then I stayed at it. I stayed on people like Michael Cohen, who would reveal a lot of things to me, and then I shared that, and it kind of led to. It wasn't just about Trump, it was about the people around Trump, like Jerry Falwell Jr. And so I ended up being friends with the pool boy, and Jerry Falwell Jr. was so nefarious, and everybody's like, oh, him and his wife, they have sex with good-looking guys. Well, that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal to me.
Right.
But when you blackmail those guys, like, the Giancarlo Granda was black, can you imagine? Having Jerry Falwell Jr. call and say, I got a video of you having sex with my wife. I'm going to send it to your girlfriend if you don't do blank. And so, plus there's so much money involved in what they do.
Yep.
And Trump and him, they changed the laws a little bit. And they're supposedly a religious organization, but they're the worst people, and they're more like. The Falwells were more like a predator, like Weinstein, that, they have a sexual proclivity, which who gives a shit about that? But through them and the other people, so I'm very glad I did the Trump. And he didn't get reelected.
Yep.
Whatever it took. Thank God to women in this country, women and people of color, women of color especially. They really saved us.
Yeah, it's totally true.
Can you imagine if he was president now?
No. So I want to ask you. So we're at the horror con. How do you feel about these events and horror fans? We got a guy dressed like Michael Myers that just slowly walked through the.
There's also people with fake guns, so that kind of worries me. I was in Pittsburgh a couple weeks ago at SteelCon, and there was guys walking around dressed like soldiers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what if
it's not the right time.
Yeah.
Plus, like with Texas, I mean.
No, Texas is like this ridiculous state. Ridiculous state where you be at Walmart with your kids and somebody comes in with a gun. They're getting better about I don't you guys grew up around guns. I grew up around guns. But it shouldn't be a free for all. And there's a lot of men with the long guns that use that to scare people. They walk around,
big time,
especially women.
Yeah,
and they're cowards.
Yeah.
And first of all, if I see someone with a long gun on their back in a Target, it would take me about 2 seconds to take it off them. If I was like a bad guy, to start shooting the place up. So, as compared to them being the good guy with a gun, which always hits the bad guy, which is bullshit. So,
Well, so your position here, honestly, you're in the corner here.
Yeah.
You've got the view of the arena.
Yeah, but
like, do you feel comfortable here? Like, how do you feel? Especially horror fans must really hound you about Freddy's dead.
Yeah,
right?
they do. I feel totally comfortable, and I can see you guys coming from. I said we were arguing if that was you guys. I go, no, that's them. That's the podcast host. They're coming back. No, I see them. I see the little microphone in his hand.
Well, hey, listen, we weren't here to be a pain in your ass.
No, you weren't. It worked out well because right before you were here, somebody was a huge pain in my ass.
Yeah.
And so.
How do we avoid this?
A lot of people have come up and asked me to do their stuff for their podcast here, and it's just not possible.
Right.
But I met a lot of very nice people, but I also have a lot of respect for what you guys do. Plus, you're unusual. You're a brother and sister team. That's very relatable.
I'll tell you what. This is not our day job. We do this for fun.
I realize that.
Well, I mean, for one, shit. But hey, listen, I do entertainment stuff for my job.
Yeah.
But so this we do for the fun of it.
Yeah, of course.
And so honestly, we feel super laid back. The thing I feel good about us, some people develop that energy of really, it's not work, it's not taking, but you've got to double down and try even harder, and it doesn't feel organic. It doesn't fit.
It doesn't feel.
And honestly, I'm here to have a good time.
Yeah. And I can tell you guys are very smart. And it's hard to tell with some people. But, this is also good because it's been a slow convention because of the terrible rains and the terrible storms out here.
We lost our podcast set in the flood.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. My entire home office, I'm a horror writer, so... Yeah.
Oh, you lost what? Did you lost your computer?
No, I lost my basement. I yanked everything out of there, man. I got all my gear out, but we're not gonna be down there for a while.
We had a set.
But you did?
Yeah.
Oh, we should do that on ours.
Have a set?
Yeah,
do you guys
a good
do
idea.
video?
Yeah, we do, and it's me and my assistant Sasha, who's 30 and just has terrible opinions about everything. And she's great because she lives with the kids, and she helps with the kids. And getting somebody who's good with your kids, it's worth putting up with a bunch of crap.
Oh, hey, we're looking at daycares right this second.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The one good thing about COVID is my kids got to be home for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And especially my daughter, I did not have her do Zoom preschool. I said, this is going to be a year, I hope you remember, that I will remember that you and Dad had a bunch of adventures.
Yeah.
And my son had to do, he was so bad at it. Zoom school is the man. The daycares, those people, you get good people, those saints.
Yes.
People that work with kids and take care of our kids and they're the best of the best.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And they're working really hard right now, especially.
All right. Well,
Yo,
guys,
can we get you to say one last thing? So this is our 200th episode of Guide to
I
the
know,
Unknown.
that's why I'm on it, the 200th episode. It's how often do you do your podcast?
Every week. We've
4 years.
We barely missed a week.
Oh my God, you guys are amazing.
We do it for fun, but we prioritize it like a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell me what to say. Congratulations to the Adventure Zone. What is it, the Adventure Zone? I like it.
It doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't matter.
I love that show.
He's pretending he doesn't know everything about us.
No.
Guide to the Unknown. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Tom Arnold. It's the 200th anniversary show of Guide to the Unknown. I'm here with my brother and sister. We're enjoying it. And thank you guys for listening and being fans, all 7 of you.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you and we love you.
Next year, we're going to make it to 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8 fans, 8 fans.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe we'll have another kid.
Yeah, why not?
Me and you together.
That'd
be a big baby.
We just put the belly buttons
Yeah.
on my wife's tummy, and that's our next listener. Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
This has been
Thank
really
you,
fun.
guys.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I wanted to